TGIF. You're on the John Fredericks Media Network and the John Fredericks radio apps, and I am your Godzilla of the truth in America, and thanks for being with us today. No gibberish, no nonsense. We are ready to rock and roll, baby. Let's go. Hey, ice. 6:30, Tyler, ice. You know the song Ice? Play that. Yesterday, White House briefing, J.D. Vance. Personally, his best moment. At that press briefing, and I was there, Vance pulled no punches. You cannot defy the law. You cannot attempt to murder a law officer or maim them by running them over and think that everything is going to be fine. And he nailed it yesterday. He said this woman was brainwashed. Sorry, she's dead. She's mom. Why is she there? Why are you a young mother at 38 or 37 parking your car perpendicular and then trying to back up whoever was behind her's dead and then try to run over an ICE agent and kill them? You're shot in the head. Hey, sorry. What do these people expect? The Democrats are now defending chaos, law and order, the abolition of law and order, the harming of law enforcement officials. They're going to try to turn this woman into a martyr. There were protests here in D.C. last night. They were peaceful because we got the National Guard here. I mean, I got a video coming out today. I had it right on my window. There were so many cops around last night blocking streets. They gave them a pathway. That's it. They loot. They're going to jail. They break a window. They're going to jail. That's how you have a peaceful protest. You break one window, you're apprehended, and you're going to jail. And I'll see you in a week. That's it. We live in the safest city in America, right here in Washington, D.C. The miraculous way that crime is down is off the charts. And it's down even more because they were reporting phony numbers. That whole scandal. This is a beautiful city. You're not going to mess with it. You want to go burn down Minneapolis? Not my problem. I could care less. I tell you what. This is the turning point. I told you this yesterday. This is the turning point for the Trump administration, and we are going to win the midterms. The Democrats now, you got to look at what they're doing. They're defending lawlessness and they're defending illegal immigrants because, as I've been saying for 2 years, that is their base. That is their future. They can't be deported. Every time somebody gets deported or self-deports, they're losing a voter and a foot soldier. Now you got this guy, Mamdani, which is, this guy thinks he's like, I don't know, he thinks he's like Secretary of State. He's saying, oh, I was briefed on Venezuela. No, you read the news like I did. You were briefed on it. By who? Like Rubio called you up to brief you? This guy's ego is massive and out of control because he's got a foot soldier army there. He's got 100,000 people. He's going to get whatever he wants. They're going to ignite this army anytime they want something. It's going to be a flash paid mob. This is the way they govern. This is the way the communists take over. Very important to understand what we're dealing with. Vance was at his best yesterday. And he called out the fake news like crazy. He's called them out. He was pretty fired up yesterday. I want to see more of that from J.D. Vance. He's fired up. He basically said, you guys are lying. You're liars. Your headlines are liars. And CNN had to backtrack and defend it. And he called CNN out specifically and others. You're lying to the American people. You're putting up headlines saying, woman shot by ICE. Like it was murder. And then they're like, well, are you going to do an investigation? You're jumping to the gun. He said, the investigation is the video. Watch it. That's my investigation. I mean, right back in their face. But here's the reality of it, okay? And I called him on my video yesterday. By the way, follow me on all social media at JF Radio Show, at JF Radio Show. Here's the key. very important. He's up there railing about the fake news he was there for a half hour, right? He took questions, and we're going to play some of them, railing about the fake news and calling them basically enemies and calling them out and saying they were lying and stoking falsehoods, and they should be ashamed of themselves. But yet there they are, filling up those 50 seats, actually 49, first 5 rows. He didn't call on a single new media person. So all he called on was the fake news who he is admonishing. I've asked them to rip the seating arrangements away from the WHCA since Sean Spicer was there. 9 years. Well, 4 plus 1, 5. You throw out the Biden. 5 years. Until you do that, stop complaining. You complain about the fake news, and then you give them the power to run that room. And then you call on them exclusively. So, come on. I mean, rip the seating chart away from them. Just rip it away and take it over, just like you did the pool traveling with the president and inside the Oval Office. Rip it away. Get your own seating chart and hand it out, and this is it. And hey, what are they going to do? Not go? Hegseth did it. They bitched for 2 weeks. A couple of them boycotted it for 3 days, and then they're back, standing up like I am and we are in the back of the room. So if you're going to complain, do something about it. Action, action, action. Now, we saw action from Vance yesterday. We're simply not going to stand around and put up with this. You want to go riot, riot. I wouldn't give the state of Minnesota a frigging dime. Every dime of federal money should be cut off. Everything, education, you name it. Hey, you guys want to tax your people into oblivion and have fraud and do whatever you want to? Go ahead. Not on my dime. No, I'm getting up every day working at 4 a.m. Not on my dime, your dime. That's what the people want there, fine. Let them work 3 jobs, pay all their taxes, and live out of a car. The hell do I care? We should be giving them a dime. There's a lot going on here. But I'm telling you, the reason the fake news has gone off the charts and the liberals are going crazy over this and calling it murder is because they don't want ICE in your cities because they're losing their vote base. You take out illegals, illegal voters, and fraud in the elections, and they'll never win an election again because they don't have a majority. So they have manufactured through importing third world voters that are not even illegal, can't even vote. And they change the system so it's easy for them to do that and cheat. And that's where the cheating is, not machines and servers on Mars and all this other clickbait crew nonsense they've been spewing out. It is on the ground with people that should not be voting. Now, you want to change this? I got an idea. One day, one vote, voter ID, federalize it, get rid of the filibuster, and pass it. But no, they won't do that. It's all talk. Yabba, 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 yabba. We want action, action, action. And if we do this, we're going to win elections. We got so many clips coming up here, guys. I don't even know where to start. So I tell you what, Tyler, I don't have the number handy because, as I say, I forgot my main phone here. So I'm on the other one. I got to go back and get at the break. But let's run. There's a couple there with Levitt and Vance down towards the end. Let's roll those because that was a great press conference yesterday. And then I got a couple of announcements. Roll it.
Thank you for a question. So the head of Minnesota's investigations agency says that the U.S. Attorney's Office has essentially cut off the state investigations agency's access to the investigation? What is the precedent for that, and why shouldn't the Minnesota officials on the ground have access and evidence to work on this investigation?
First of all, I wish the state officials in Minnesota would investigate why you have so many people who are using their vehicles and other means to actually interfere with a legitimate law enforcement operation. The precedent here is very simple. You have a federal law enforcement official engaging in federal law enforcement action. That's a federal issue. That guy is protected by absolute immunity. He was doing his job. The idea that Tim Walz and a bunch of radicals in Minneapolis are going to go after and make this guy's life miserable because he was doing the job that he was asked to do is preposterous. The unprecedented thing is the idea that a local official can actually prosecute a federal official with absolute immunity. I've never seen anything like that. It would get tossed out by a judge. So what I'd like Minnesota to focus on is the real issue, that they're encouraging people. Minneapolis officials are encouraging people to commit violence against ICE officials. It's ridiculous. It's got to stop. Go ahead.
Mr. President, thank you.
The Department of Homeland Security will continue to operate on the ground in Minnesota, not only to remove criminal illegal aliens, but also to continue conducting door-to-door investigations of the rampant fraud that has taken place in the state under the failed and corrupt leadership of Democrat Governor Tim Walz. Taxpayers have been ripped off to the tune of billions of dollars in this one state alone, and that is going to end, and people are going to be held accountable. The Trump administration has activated thousands of federal agents, doubled the number of U.S. attorneys in the DOJ office in Minneapolis, and surged resources to hold fraudsters accountable and demand justice for law-abiding American taxpayers and citizens across our country. Let me be clear. President Trump and his entire administration stand fully behind the heroic men and women of ICE and will always uphold law and order in the United States of America. The deadly incident that took place in Minnesota yesterday occurred as a result of a larger, sinister, left-wing movement that has spread across our country, where our brave men and women of federal law enforcement are under organized attack. Right now, immigration and customs enforcement officers are facing a 1,200% increase in assaults, a 3,200% increase in vehicle rammings, and an 8,000% increase in death threats. ICE agents are faithfully enforcing federal law to protect the safety of the American people by removing criminal illegal aliens from our country, which is exactly what nearly 80 million Americans elected President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance to do.
You're removing their army. Do you understand why they're going nuts? You're removing their vote base. You're removing their army. You're removing everything they have in order to gain power. And they're right there. They're right on the cusp of it, and we're removing it. And there is no way here. There's no out. There's no off ramp. This is a win-lose situation. You either win or you lose. And the Republicans have to stand up to this. Now, they're going to cape. The ones in the Senate that, they voted yesterday that basically said, Trump can't do this without congressional authority in the Senate. And we'll talk about the ACA later, the subsidy that passed with Republican votes. They have a right to do that. But don't expect the Republicans to stand here. Their knees will buckle, all of them. They'll all buckle here. They're all afraid. This guy, Trump, is not afraid. Vance is not afraid. Rubio is not afraid. And that young lady up there with the blonde hair isn't afraid. But we got a lot of clips here, guys, because you really got to get up here and smell the coffee. The ICE agents going into these cities is dismantling their avenue to complete and total power in this country. They're dismantling it right in front of their eyes, and that's why their hair's on fire. That's what's going on here. Now, let's get to Mamdani, right? Here's this guy, mayor of New York. I don't know. He thinks he's like, undersecretary of state. Let's get to, I got to put my glasses on here, guys. I'm sorry. I'm getting older. This is going to be cut 4, right? Here's Mamdani saying, I've told Trump that I'm in opposition to the pursuit of regime change. The hell are you? Well, what do you mean? You call the president up now on his bat phone and say, I'm opposed to what's going on in Venezuela, Mr. President, I'm the mayor of New York City, and I just want to register my opposition. I like Maduro, and I like the communists, and they're my friends. And, we're communists, and we're running the city. And, I don't think we should have regime change there. They're one of my allies. If I need them, I'm going to pick up the phone and call Maduro. The hell? What? Roll it. 4. What an
Top
idiot.
of mind for each and every New Yorker.
Okay, so you disagree with those comments that she made in 2019. You mentioned your relationship with President Trump. I have to ask you because Nicolas Maduro is now in Brooklyn, staying in a jail there as he's awaiting his trial. You posted after that capture happened that you had called the president actually to voice your displeasure about this. Can you just tell us what that phone call was like and what the president said back to you?
Yes, it was a phone call not too different than the other conversations that I've had with the president, be it in the Oval Office or in the call that we're discussing right now, where it was honest, it was forthright, it was direct, and in this case, it was also brief. And I made clear to the president that I opposed this action by the federal government, that unilaterally attacking a foreign country is an act of war, and it's one that is done in violation of international law and also federal approval, and that I'm in opposition to a pursuit of regime change. And I shared that with the president prior to sharing it with the public to make it clear directly. And as always, these conversations, they always come back to the concerns of New Yorkers here across the 5 boroughs. And when the federal government takes an action such as that, my responsibility is to ensure that it has as limited of an impact as it can on the lives of each and every New Yorker. And that's what my administration is committed to fulfill.
Mayor Zohran Mamdani, thank you for joining us on this big policy.
Who gives a rat's ass what you think? This is unbelievable. What do you mean you called the president to voice your displeasure? The hell are you? You're a little tin-horn communist piece of crap. You're a jihadist. You're harboring terrorists there. The hell are you calling the president? I called the president to voice my displeasure. What a little pissant this guy is. I tell you what, unbelievable. Never in my lifetime did I think I'd see this. I tell you what, one thing, this guy's got balls. Hey, I'm the mayor of New York. I'm going to call the president up. I'm going to call up the Ayatollah. Hey, hey, Mamdani here. You kidding me? Unfreaking believable, this guy. Now, he says that, let's get to 5. Mamdani says that ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. ICE agent murdered. This is the mayor of New York City. Folks, get this. Okay, you got the mayor, a communist jihadist, Islamist, mayor of New York City, the financial capital of the globe, basically giving you false information, saying that an ICE agent murdered an innocent woman who was trying to run him over and kill him. Look at the message he's sending. Hey, come here to New York and you will get away with everything. And he's already said, I want all the immigrants. If you don't feel safe, come here. I'll put you up in a hotel. I'll pay for it. Just join my army. Get this. Get what this guy is doing. He is creating a communist front in America, in our largest city. And he's getting heralded by these imbeciles on CNN that live there. I mean, it's mind-boggling what is going on. Let's get to 5 here. Here's Mamdani said the ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. Murdered a woman. The woman was trying to kill the agent by running him over with her car. Roll it. 5.
In your city today, but I do want to ask about the fact that the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem was there in your city defending this ICE agent from Minneapolis in this shooting. She said that he, quote, followed his training. Is that what you saw in those videos?
If that is following his training, then I think there are larger questions about the training that's being provided to ICE agents. I think we can all see that video and come to our own conclusions that ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. And it is a glimpse in.
This is the mayor of New York City. We can all come to our own conclusions that an ICE agent murdered a woman. Did you see the tape, you freaking moronic communist piece of shit? Did you see the tape? Because if you saw the tape, she was veering the car to run the guy over. Why don't they run you over? Why don't you stand in front of the car and let them run you over? They're going to get killed in the elections. I'm telling you guys, there are too many Americans that are looking at this and saying, what is this? Oh my goodness. What? Murdered? You got the mayor of New York City. You murdered a woman? What do you think he's going to turn this city into? Like, if you're there, get out. Now, he seized your property. So, see, in a brilliant move, you're trapped. If you own property there, you're trapped. You can't sell it. You're trapped. And then when you don't fix your apartment buildings, they will seize them from you. Because you don't have the money to fix them because you can't raise rents to fix it. And you're broke. He's trapped you in one day. That's why they passed this in one day, the first day he got there. This is all planned out. Am I the only person in the country calling this guy out? Unbelievable. He will build an army. First of all, the next election, he'll get 90% because 80% of the voters will be illegal immigrants. It'll be illegal voters just showing up to vote, and you can't stop it. When you get that many people voting, you can't do anything about it. There'll be flash mobs every 15 minutes for anything that he can't get done. Wait, watch it. I'm predicting it. I said this to you 2 weeks ago. It's manifesting itself out now. Go ahead, finish. Tyler.
In your city today. But I do want to ask about this ICE agent from Minneapolis in this shooting. She said that he, quote, followed his training. Is that what you saw in those videos?
If that is following his training, then I think there are larger questions about the training that's being provided to ICE agents. I think we can all see that video and come to our own conclusions that ICE agent murdered a woman in Minneapolis. And it is a glimpse into what has been a year full of cruelty. And I think what many New Yorkers woke up with feeling today was a heightened sense of anxiety and fear as to whether they were safe in leaving their homes. I know that's especially true for immigrant New Yorkers, of which there are more than 3 million, including myself. And it is clear to myself and to so many across this country, as I've shared with the president directly, that these ICE raids are cruel and inhumane, and they do nothing to further the cause or the interest of public safety.
Oh, really?
You called this a murder just now.
They do nothing to further the interest of public safety? All these illegal immigrant criminals, all these illegals taking your money, all this fraud in Somalia, in Somalia soda, they do nothing. See, they do nothing because it is their power base going away. You better lace them up, folks, and lace them tight. You better get in this fight. You better get off the sidelines and stop sending texts with caps in them. Do something. If I see another a thing with caps and do something. I'm doing something every day. What are you doing, cap lady? What do you guys do? What do the Republicans do? Nothing. This thing is at a breaking point. Winner, loser, freedom, communism. Pick it. Those are the choices. There's no in between. If you look what's going on now, it's unbelievable. No law and order. Nothing. Ma'am, get out of the car. No, I'm going to lock it and run you over. Now you're dead. Oh, it's our fault. It's the agent's fault. It's Trump's fault. It's Noam's fault. Vance called Caitlin Collins out yesterday, totally called her out right there. And then she has to get on and defend herself. Cut 7, roll
it. Remarkable address.
That's one word for it.
Yeah, I'm being polite. Address from the vice president.
I mean, and part of that soundbite there from the vice president, he was attacking CNN. He read a headline aloud over our coverage that has happened in the last 24 hours. I went and looked up the headline. It was relatively straightforward. It was certainly accurate.
It was just that there was outrage in Minneapolis after the shooting.
Correct.
which is
That's like literally
a
what
fact,
the headline was.
A fact.
Right. It wasn't inflammatory. It wasn't a one-sided narrative of what people have said on the ground, because you've seen the administration saying one thing, as the vice president did today.
And by the way, we reported on this show yesterday about the fact that ICE officer had that prior incident in June of last year.
That's because you aired the comments from the Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem as well when she was saying that in her press conference.
Yeah, but then I also looked it
yesterday.
up on the Department of Justice website.
Right. So the fact that that wasn't part of the coverage, which is his main grievance there, is just not true. But putting that aside,
Well, he also because
thought
the vice president traffics in straw men all the time, which is not necessarily the sign of somebody who's confident in his arguments. He says that the media has called this guy a murderer. I don't know who in the media has done that. We haven't done that.
No.
Sorry, go ahead.
And you know, the mayor of Minneapolis, Jacob Fry, last time I checked, has also not even gone that far, even though he has certainly said other statements, including telling ICE to get the F out yesterday. He has said, as he did to me last night, they're waiting for the investigation to play out.
Yeah.
So much like
Sniveling little wench who got called out, and now they have to go and defend this. But yet, she's in the front row, in the briefing room. And so are all the other libtard fake newsers. So you call them out, but then you go meet with them and do nothing. So I'm going to call out their hypocrisy as well. You've done nothing. Hegseth did something. Hegseth kicked them out. Right? You go on a plane, James Blair, who does he go and talk to? Us? No. Goes and talks to the guy at the New York Times, sits down with him and has a beer. At the end of the day, Susie Wiles, 11-month interview, The Atlantic, another libtard. At the end of the day, they criticize him. This is the Trump administration people. They criticize him, but then they do nothing. Still coddle them. Break the seating chart up in the White House press briefing, and I'll take you seriously. Otherwise, it's just dogma. Do something. Action, action, action. No better time to do it than right now. Anyway, I've been on that soapbox for some time. Laura Ingraham, cut 8, roll it.
Those conflicts between the ICE officers and the protesters were there, and things there, well, they got a little more interesting.
Race to the human race.
Why are you wearing a mask?
To the human race.
Why are you wearing a mask?
Because my nose is cold. Why do you care if I'm wearing a mask?
I'm just curious. Just a question.
Agitators!
This is the crowd, and they apparently are policing their borders. So they're policing their borders here, which is fascinating.
Shame! Shame!
Oh, well, it's so boring.
Shame! Shame!
Do you have a job?
To the human race.
Do you have a job?
Shame! Shame! I'm getting paid right now.
Well, and as we were leaving in our vehicle, they did what they can do. They gave us all the finger. I think they secretly liked us, though. But a few observations here. So the protests are always.
I love the question. Do you have a job? Yeah, I'm here right now. These are paid flash mobs. That's their job. Right? Let's just get this.